as long as we are all trying to fix the problem and we all know what the problem is, then we're all on the same team as far as I'm concerned. You can't just come out and be like, we're getting rid of everyone with brown skin. It's too much. If you just say we're getting rid of everyone who doesn't work, guess what? Exact same end result, basically. Dude, it's so funny how basic it is. It's like they come here, apply for asylum or whatever. They get on welfare. And then 10 years later, they're still on welfare and they don't speak English even. And it's like, why don't we just kick this person back where they came from? Why do we have to pay for this? So basic. Okay, Rupert Lowe in England has announced a new political party. And people are very excited about this because it seems a lot more based, for lack of a better word, than the current offerings. Up until now, you had basically Nigel Farage was like your based option in the UK, and he's talking about how he wants to import a bazillion Indians. He wants to import a bunch of JEET workers. The last time I saw a clip of Nigel Farage, so it's not like a super exciting option, but Rupert Lowe, a couple days ago, says, I'm launching Restore Britain as a national political party, and he puts out this little video trailer talking about what the platform's going to be for the party.
I have chosen to speak to you today from the farm because places like this represent what proper Britain is about. Hard work, responsibility, effort, duty, stewardship. This is the England I know, and this is the England that I love. On a farm, you don't think in election cycles or headlines or polling. You think in season. You think in generations, in what you leave behind to those who come after you. And that's why, here on the farm, I am now launching Restore Britain as a national political party. I'm now going to dedicate my life to finding, organising, funding and providing hundreds of qualified candidates to present to the British people at the next general election. This process has already started, with invitations being issued to patriots in aligned political parties, Reform, the Conservatives, the SDP, Advance, and more. In local politics, we will work in partnership with localised political parties, such as Great Yarmouth First, that have the best interests of their residents at heart, combining our forces at the next general election. The men and women standing for Restore in that election will not be politicians. I promise you that. They will not be failed ministers. They will not be tainted by failures of the past. They will be from business, from the military, from science, from medicine, from
I'm from science. It's me, Troy McClure. You may remember me from science.
From industry, representing real communities up and down the country. Every single one will be from well outside the existing political establishment, and every single one will understand the difficult decisions that need to be taken. Because there are no easy fixes. I'm not going to tell you comforting lies about the condition of our country. I have only ever been honest with the British people, and I will be straight with you now. What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done. The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country.
Peace.
Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it.
Let's go.
Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported. The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive. If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave.
Dude, it's so funny how basic it is. It's like they come here, apply for asylum or whatever. They get on welfare, and then 10 years later, they're still on welfare and they don't speak English even. And it's like, why don't we just kick this person back where they came from? Why do we have to pay for this? It's so basic.
Restore Britain will make our communities safe again for women and children. That I promise you. If that means millions go, then millions go. We're constantly told that the economy needs vast swathes of low-skilled migrants. We know that's simply not true. What we need is to get millions of healthy Brits back into work. A radical overhaul of how welfare is delivered. Protecting those in genuine need, but not funding healthy shirkers to live off the back of hard-working men and women.
Based.
If you can work, you must work. It really is that simple. Restore Britain will be abundantly clear. If you consistently refuse work, then you will lose your benefits. We will punish indolence, and more importantly, we will reward success. We will provide vast economic incentives for men and women to start businesses, generate opportunities, build wealth, and create self-sufficient families. Standing here today on the farm, I know exactly what it means to deal with energy bills, labour shortages, regulation, unproductive paperwork, planning restrictions, tax, and endless uncertainty. The state has definitively become the enemy of the people. Restore Britain will burn away suffocating taxes on work and enterprise. We will slash unnecessary regulation. We will dismantle bloated quangos and the overbearing HR culture. We must crush parasitic Britain. We will restore long-term, stable, logical policy so that businesses can plan and invest and grow again. But Restore Britain is about much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who we are as a nation and who we are as a people. Britain is not just an economy. Britain is not just an idea. Britain is not just a passport. Britain is a nation. Britain is a people, our people. And Restore Britain will never allow that to be erased. We will celebrate our Christian heritage and the identity that built and shaped this country. Responsibility, restraint, forgiveness, duty, and fairness. In short, a high-trust society. That will mean defending our culture. That will mean resisting the relentless creep of radical Islam. That will mean banning the burqa, outlawing Sharia law, blocking cousin marriages, and reimposing our Christian-based rule of law. A Restore Britain government would legislate to ensure that no halal or kosher slaughter on British soil. This is Britain, and we will do things our way.
Banning circumcision.
This political party now exists for one reason.
Record
To
scratch.
restore Britain. To make it a better, safer, and more prosperous place for British men and women to raise their families. It will be difficult and it will be painful. But I assure you, it is possible. I hope you will consider joining me on this journey and becoming a member of our party. It is our country. It is now our collective responsibility.
Oswald Mosley's
to
ghost
act.
sent $3. Hopefully he understands that it isn't about jobs, the economy, or integration. The Indians, Pakistanis, and Africans must go back, even if they speak English and fly the Union Jack.
I think he does understand. I think he's approaching this in a way that, that you can sell it to the public. You can't just come out and be like, we're getting rid of everyone with brown skin. It's too much. If you just say we're getting rid of everyone who doesn't work, guess what? Same result. Exact same end result, basically. You're still going to have a few left over who actually are integrated, but it's like, who cares? You're going back to where it's not really a problem, you know?
Together, we will restore Britain. Thank you.
I'm going to do everything in my power that this guy is the next prime minister of the UK, which is very little. Unfortunately, I can only do very little. Look at the replies here. Everybody, Steve Laws, Patriot, Zoomer Historian, our leader, Jared Taylor, God bless our mother country, Ozpill, the Australian Stand With You, Academic Agent, Millennial Woes, Hermes, Raw Egg Nationalist, everyone. Old Sterling, Akira the Dawn, Peachy Keenan. Wait, what is she saying? She's Jewish. UK leaders want to fight Russia to the death to stop its invasion of Ukraine, but won't lift a finger to stop the invasion of their own country. See, everybody coming together. Toby Turner, we will punish indolence. Surf, Lotus Eaters, Connor Tomlinson, Tom Roswell.
Rupert Lowe's rhetoric is a clear escalation from 2016 Trump. If you can't see this as a feedback loop of increasing white progress, you cannot be helped.
Thank you. Dude literally said he's going to ban kosher slaughter, which is like a very small thing, but Jews do not allow for small things, okay? Can we at least give him a chance? Like Tom Roswell, never had as much faith in a politician as I do in Lowe. Everybody, all these influencers who hate each other and are usually bickering, Dries Lambergove, Langenhove, however you say it, Calvin Robinson, Mac. This is why, like, even though I don't like a lot of like right-wing accounts on Twitter, I generally try to like not bicker with people and to not talk shit about them and burn bridges and stuff like that. Because when the American Caesar comes, which is I guess what we're calling it because you can't say American Hitler, I think it's pretty clear Rupert Lowe is the British Hitler. That line about what we have to do is going to be so painful. You're not going to believe how painful it is what we have to do. That shit went hard. That was real. I felt that. But point is, when we get an American guy who talks like this, like Rupert Lowe, it's got to be all hands on deck. And it looks like it's all hands on deck for this guy, which makes me happy, you know? That's why, you know, at the end of the day, like a lot of these people who get a hard time, like let's take Ren, for example, because he's part of the BAP sphere and they're kind of like, a lot of people hate them or around here don't like them, whatever. I try not to go too hard on these guys because at the end of the day, anybody who is like counter signaling Rupert Lowe, that's somebody who is like your enemy. So I don't think Ren is my enemy. You understand me? Tom Roswell, he's like a pagan. He kind of counter signals delicately Christianity from time to time. I don't like that. But again, this guy is not my enemy, pagan or not. As long as we are all trying to fix the problem and we all know what the problem is, then we're all on the same team as far as I'm concerned. And Elon Musk has endorsed Rupert Lowe. He retweeted this video. He says, join Rupert Lowe and restore Britain because he is the only one who will actually do it. Please fund him. Yeah, we really could use Elon to be a little bit more philanthropic or activist or whatever you want to call it. Even Tommy Robinson, Ayaan Hirsi Ali, dude. Great things are happening. Great things are happening in England. And they may very well set the tone for other places. I want to end this historic week with one clear message to you all. What is necessary for Britain will be incredibly painful. It won't be easy. There will be no confetti and pyrotechnics. It will be hard. It will hurt. It will challenge all of us. I won't tell you comforting lies. I've never done that. We've had those for decades. It has not worked. Politicians promising miracle cures where there are none. The British people have far more intelligence than the existing political parties arrogantly believe. As a party, Restore Britain will treat you with the respect you deserve. You will finally have an option.
I'm happy Sargon is actually right-wing now, but I wish he didn't take 10 years to get there.
Yeah. I said the same thing about like Steven Crowder. And again, I don't think Steven Crowder is even there. I wouldn't say Steven Crowder is there. Sargon's probably more there than Steven Crowder, but at least he said something kind of base, kind of white identitarian-ish. Not to like harp on that, but I think like a lot of these guys, they kind of know they have to throw a little red meat to the audience because the audience is so much further to the right than they are. They'll kind of signal it here and there, but you know, when push comes to shove, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, the brutal reality we find ourselves in, I will be honest with you all, there will be hard years, there will be difficult days, the fight of our lives. I mean, this is real. This is exactly what it is. The fish and chips will be fried in beef tallow. A proper Britain will have no seed oils. That's not real. So shout out Restore Britain. Godspeed Rupert Lowe. And can we please have a politician who talks like this? Meanwhile, in France, Antifa have murdered a 23-year-old young man, a patriot, a recent Catholic convert who was acting as security to protect this group called Collective Nemesis, basically, which is like a organization that campaigns for women's rights. They do this a lot in Europe. They have the same thing in the UK, where that organization with Jesse Gills or whatever, where it's like, oh, we're like here to help women not get sexually assaulted, but everybody knows what that means is like dealing with the migrant rapists, basically, because they're the ones committing all of the random sexual assaults out there and like committing it at like orders of magnitude more per capita than other people. So this group, they're out, I guess, doing a demonstration or something. Hold on. There's a BBC article here. Let's see. Student death puts French far left under pressure. There's a rally or like a vigil or something. We'll get to that because I have a video for that too, but let's just see what the article says here. Try to get some details on what actually happened. France's radical left is under pressure after the killing of a student in Lyon was blamed on anti-fascist militants. Quentin Durank, a 23-year-old math student and nationalist activist, dude, sounds like a great guy. Catholic convert, math student, nationalist. He died on Saturday, 2 days after being beaten up on the street by a group of young men. State prosecutor Thierry Dran told the news conference on Monday afternoon that a murder investigation has been opened into the death. Durank was kicked and punched by at least 6 individuals and that the autopsy showed fatal damage to his skull and brain. Durank had given support to a hard-right feminist collective, Nemesis, which staged a small protest against the left-wing's politician's visit to the Institute of Political Studies, commonly known as Sciences Po. Mobile phone video footage taken a few streets away from the protest location showed 3 young men being kicked and punched by a larger group. One person, believed to be Quentin, remained lying on the ground. According to Dran, there was an initial confrontation between 2 groups. A short time later, Durank was one of 3 nationalist activists who, having failed to get away, were cornered by the opposing group. Ministers from President Macron's center-right government blamed far-left militants for the killing. Manifestly, it was the far left that was at work. This was a mob killing with blows that the perpetrators probably did not intend to be fatal. Yeah. Whoops. Accidentally killed that guy. It is the far left that killed him. Of that, there is no question. No suspects identified. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what happened. So this group, this collective Nemesis, whatever, they were protesting this politician coming to speak at a university, and this guy, Quentin, he was there to offer security because Antifa was there to counter-protest, and Antifa beat him to death. Okay, so that's what happened. This post on Facebook says that he had converted to Catholicism. And you have people, of course, celebrating this, like this guy, Loki. Harley's Kooky says, these French leftists still fight fascism the old-fashioned way. This guy, Faust, said, saving this screenshot for posterity as I'm going to make it a little project to ruin this freak's life. Wagey, resident of Florida, likely Bay or Brevard County. He's like a cook at a restaurant or something. He steals lobsters from the restaurant. Female to male troon. Anyway, Godspeed to Faust with that. They're doing a vigil for this dead kid, Quentin, in France, a tribute rally.
At a university in Lyon, he was taking part in a protest against an appearance at the campus by Rima Hassan, a French-Palestinian politician. Hassan has often been targeted for speaking out against Israel's genocide in Gaza. This incident has exacerbated tensions between the French far-right and hard-left, who are both eyeing the 2027 presidential elections. Well, let's go to Paris now. Natasha Butler joins us from a protest there. Natasha, you had a rally to commemorate the death of this far-right activist. What is the mood like there?
Yeah, that's right. At this rally in central Paris, it was snowing a bit early and rainy, but that hasn't stopped people coming out here to commemorate this 23-year-old student called Quentin. There's actually a lot of anger here. People were chanting a short while ago. There's a sense here that this student, this far-right activist who died of severe head injuries on Saturday night in a hospital, sense here that he was targeted and killed, they say, by Antifa militants and far-left supporters. Now, what we do know is that on Thursday, Quentin joined some other far-right activists to protest a conference that was being held by the far-left MEP Rima Hassan in Lyon, in this south-eastern city in France. Rima Hassan is a French-Palestinian politician, as you pointed out, a controversial figure for some. Now, this protest happened, clashes ensued between some far left and far right supporters. Quentin was in the midst of this. We know that people were being chased down the street. We know that there was violence, and what we know is that at some point he sustained these very severe.
It's kind of similar to what happened to Jacob Lang a few weeks ago. In some ways, he's lucky he got out of there alive because they were stabbing him.
Head injuries that led to his death. People here, as I said, are very angry. They really are blaming these far left supporters for his death, but police say that they are investigating what happened.
And Natasha, what has been the political reaction there? Are the authorities treating this as a one-off tragedy, or is there a genuine fear that it could turn university campuses into a permanent front line between the far right and the pro-Palestine left?
Well, I think it's hard to say. And look, the fact that this protest happened outside this conference by Rima Hassan, you might say, is by the by. It seems more that this was very much a symbol of these tensions that constantly simmer here in France between the far right and the far left, both politically, but obviously on the streets as well, with their supporters, campaigners and activists. Look, what we know is that there's
Far right is we don't want our women getting raped. Far left is we're going to kill you for not wanting that. So they're both pretty extreme. I love how she keeps saying far right. Oh, did she say hard left? I didn't even catch it. Right. So it's far right and hard left, right? And the far right is when women don't want to import 1 million more Muslim immigrants because they commit sex crimes. And then the far left is like, we are going to kill you for not wanting that.
Been a lot of political reaction.
We do
and clearly
want
the authorities are concerned about what could happen next, because the French President Emmanuel Macron came out very fast, putting out a tweet saying that such violence in France is unacceptable, calling for calm. We've heard also from the far right politicians there, including Marine Le Pen, making it clear that they believe that this is the fault of far left politicians who are whipping up what they believe is violence against their supporters. And then the far left is saying, hang on a minute, we don't know what happened. And of course, we also condemn violence. And we know that some far left.
Maybe it was a inner far right feud. Maybe Nazis killed that kid. That old tweet, nobody looks over their shoulder for Nazis at the ATM. Hey, hang on a minute. We don't know what happened. Pretty sure we do know what happened, actually. It's always the same. The racists, whatever, the far right, okay, whatever you are, always like, oh, you hear the details and you're like, oh, okay, here's what happened. And then the left is like, oh, well, hang on, we don't know. Maybe the Scottish axe girl was like a gang member harassing brown people because she's racist. We don't know. Let's wait till all the details come out. And then it's always the right-wing people who are correct. Every time.
Low appears to be the best thing to happen in decades over the pond, whatever specific qualms people might have. I'm not one for hopium, but people need to have more nuance.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. And I understand what you mean. I understand why everybody's skeptical, but understand that you have to have hope. You need hope. This is like every, Marvel movie, every Harry Potter, whatever, kind of like Bugman kind of thing, like slogan, but it's real. It's real. Hope keeps you going. Do you guys not want to win? What do you want? What do you guys want? Do you not want to win? Do you not hope to make things better. Do you want to be like a GOP politician who's just a professional complainer who doesn't want to win because then their complaining grift goes away? Let's win. I have an idea, you guys. Let's win. Let's actually win. Let's actually fix everything. Let's flip the fix everything easily switch.
Since Quentin's death on Saturday.
Do you yearn? Is that from Seinfeld or whatever? I haven't yearned in a while.
So these are the sort of tensions that are bubbling and simmering. They often do in France. They're obviously flaring up. People are hoping it's not.
Point being, it's better to hope over and over again and to have your heart broken than to give up. It's the same way with love, by the way, with romance and marriage or whatever. Yeah, you may have had a bunch of bad experiences with women, but you got to keep hoping.
There's an old Jesse Jackson quote saying he's sad to be relieved to see a white face when looking over his shoulder at night.
That's funny. Yeah, real. I mean, that's just real. That's honest.